Okay, so welcome to this first series on JavaScript for WebGIS and web mapping. So this is going to be the first series in a series of playlists that look at using JavaScript for WebGIS and web mapping. This first series is going to just look at the basics of JavaScript as a language, and we're going to do this in the context of WebGIS, and for those of you that have some experience with programming for GIS, so using something like Python or R. So we're going to kind of do some comparisons to Python and R throughout. So that's the first component. The second component, we're going to look at actually using JavaScript to add interactivity to web pages via manipulating the DOM. And then we'll have a series on using the ArcGIS Maps SDK or software development kit for JavaScript. And in that series, we'll actually be building some web maps using this JavaScript API or SDK. And then lastly, we'll also look at using Leaflet, which is an open source alternative for developing web maps. Not the only option, but it's a really commonly used option. Okay, so the goal of this first series then is just to learn the basics of JavaScript. So just a quick note on how I have this set up. So I've just created a simple folder on my computer that has a basically blank HTML document in it that's linked to a CSS document and then also to a JavaScript document. So if you click here on this, you can see I'm inside of a folder and we have this .index file. That is our HTML document. And you can see here it's linked to a JS document for the scripts, and then it's also linked to a style sheet, a CSS file. And then I have my CSS file. The only thing I've done here so far is I've changed the background color. So right now this is the page. It's just a kind of a light black, dark gray background with no content. And then we have our JavaScript file. So that file is currently empty. So we're going to write into this just to look at how JavaScript works. Again, we're not really going to be doing any manipulation of the DOM or working with a website. We're just going to look at the basic language and some of its characteristics. To actually look at the output, we're going to print to the console. So if I refresh this page, it should re-execute the JavaScript that I have loaded, and if I have anything printing to the console, it should print there. So this is the developer tools, and I'm in Firefox. So if you go to more tools and then web developer tools, or click Control-Shift-I, you can open up the developer tools. So this is just the environment for being able to type JavaScript and then also be able to actually see the output in the console. And we'll do that using console.log. So it's a pretty simple setup. I'll be providing this layout if you want to play with this and all the different JavaScript code examples that I'm going to run. Okay, so that's the first short introductory video here. In the next video, we're going to start looking at variables.